There's a war most men never talk about. It doesn't start with fists. It starts with a feeling, that tightness in your chest when you know you're meant for more, but you hesitate, you flinch, you scroll, you postpone. Not because you're lazy, because the pain of change threatens the comfort of the cage. Most men stay weak, not because they can't rise, but because they avoid the one pain that would set them free. The pain of becoming. See, you were born to rise, but programmed to remain. Born with fire, but taught to hide the flame. You were trained to survive, not to conquer, not to build, not to dominate. You were taught to be polite, agreeable, nice, but your destiny is not found in comfort. It's found in confrontation. And the first man you must confront is the one looking back at you in the mirror. Because let's tell the truth, you've been negotiating with weakness, bargaining with potential, postponing greatness until it's more convenient, more comfortable, more certain. But that version of you, the one who needs certainty before commitment, he's not the real you. He's the scared echo of an old operating system. And today, we delete it. Because this is the reset. Let's go deeper. There's a hidden tax to avoiding discomfort, and most men are broke from overpaying it. You feel it when you procrastinate. You feel it when you shrink in front of a challenge. You feel it every time you pretend like you don't care, but deep down you do, because your soul knows you weren't born to watch life happen. You were born to impose your will on it. But here's the trap. They told you pain was a punishment. But pain is a passport to power, to presence, to performance. Let me say it straight. If you want to evolve, you must embrace the pain most men avoid. The pain of self-discipline, the pain of isolation, the pain of delayed gratification, the pain of facing your inner coward and declaring war. Because that pain, that exact pain, is the soil where greatness is planted. Napoleon Hill said it best. Every adversity carries with it the seed of an equal or greater benefit. But most men never dig deep enough to find it. They quit at the surface. They tap out at tension. Why? Because weakness feels familiar. And what's familiar becomes comfortable, even if it's killing you. So hear this. Comfort is the enemy of evolution. Comfort convinces kings to live like captives. Comfort coddles your excuses and baptizes your mediocrity as normal. But there is nothing normal about playing small. There is nothing noble about shrinking so others feel safe. And there is nothing masculine about hiding from your own potential. You are not here to survive this life. You are here to master it. So let's destroy the lie that's held you hostage. Avoiding pain preserves you. No, avoiding pain paralyzes you. Avoiding pain is choosing spiritual poverty. Avoiding pain is abandoning your future self, because pain is not the problem. Avoidance is, you can train in discomfort, or you can drown in regret. You can lean into the friction, or let your fire die slowly, day by day. But you can't have both. So ask yourself, what if the pain you're avoiding is the process that would finally forge you? What if the resistance is your refining? What if your growth was never about addition, but subtraction? Not becoming more, but removing what you're not. Listen closely. The most powerful version of you doesn't need to be created. He needs to be revealed. And the key to unlocking him is identity pain, the sacred burn of letting go of who you used to be, so you can become who you were born to be. But that process hurts, and most men tap out there. They'd rather perform than transform. They'd rather look strong than be strong. They'd rather fake confidence than confront the coward. But not you, because if you're still here, still listening, something in you refuses to die quiet. Something in you wants more. Something in you knows this soft, numb, stagnant version of you is a lie. So here's the new standard. We no longer chase dopamine. We chase dominion. We no longer wait for the right mood. We move regardless. We no longer fear judgment. We fear regret. You are no longer available for mediocrity. You are no longer loyal to weakness. You are no longer a servant to your excuses. This is not motivation. This is metamorphosis. This is not about hype. This is about habitual war against the version of you that's been holding the crown hostage. Because that crown fits. and it's time you wore it. Not someday, not when it's easy, not when you feel ready. Now, right here, right now, in the middle of the mess, in the face of the fear, in spite of the doubt. Because kings are not made in comfort. They're forged in chaos. They are forged in rejection. They are forged in decision. So here's your decision. Stop flinching. Start facing. Stop avoiding. Start absorbing. The pain you run from is the bridge to the life you want. The identity you crave sits behind the discomfort you dodge. You cannot become without pressure. You cannot evolve without pain, but when you embrace it, you transcend it, and from that place you command a new standard. This is the new OS. This is the internal override. This is the reset, and from here on out, you move different. You think different. You speak different. You show up unavailable for your old self. You don't need hype. You don't need cheerleaders. You don't need perfect conditions. You need a mirror, a decision, and the guts to stay in the fire. So say it with me. I don't avoid the pain. I absorb it. I use it. I rise through it. I face myself. I upgrade daily. I transform regardless. Let this be your internal command. This is the reset. And I'm not negotiating with weakness ever again. Now say it out loud and move like it's done. Your problem was never lack of talent. It was never potential. It was never worth. It was programming. Your subconscious doesn't care what's true. It listens to what's repeated. Read that again. Let it sink, because most men are slaves to beliefs they never chose. You're not ready. You're not enough. You always mess it up. Stay safe. Play small. Don't fail. These weren't truths. They were installations, downloaded from fear, failure, and forgotten dreams. And you've been running a system designed by cowards, built by quitters, reinforced by weak minds. But here's the liberation. Your mind is programmable, and you are the coder now. Napoleon Hill called it autosuggestion, the process of deliberately influencing your subconscious through repetition and belief. Understand this. Every thought is a seed. Every repetition is water. Every belief becomes reality. So when you repeat weakness, you live weak. When you repeat doubt, you move in hesitation. When you repeat power, you become power. It's not magic. It's mechanical. Your identity is not who you are. It's who you've rehearsed. So let's break the loop. Charles Schwab didn't build an empire by accident. He used mental command. He rehearsed dominance. He repeated certainty. He didn't hope his beliefs would change. He engineered them. And you will too. You will no longer speak like a victim. You will no longer affirm the struggle. You will no longer cosign limitation with your language. Because words become walls or weapons, you choose. So stop saying, I always fail. I can't focus. I'm not that disciplined. Start saying, I decide. I dominate. I deliver. I am focused. I am forged. I am faithful to the process. I do what men avoid. I become what men fear. Because every word you speak is an instruction to your nervous system. Every phrase is a command to the subconscious. And the subconscious doesn't ask, is this true? It asks, how many times have we heard this? Henry Ford said, whether you think you can or think you can't, you're right. But here's the deeper truth. Whether you speak it once or repeat it daily, your mind builds the identity around it. So what are you building? Are you building the man who rises or the man who waits? The man who commands his inner world or the man who collapses under pressure? You don't become elite by accident. You become elite by installing elite beliefs, and elite beliefs require ritual repetition. Let's get tactical. Every morning, before the world speaks into you, you speak into yourself. Before social media hijacks your mind, you program it with intentional identity. This is the ritual. Stand in front of the mirror, look dead into your own eyes, and repeat your identity, not your emotion. Say it until you feel it. Say it until it becomes you. Say it until the doubt dies and the dog in you wakes up. Because your subconscious doesn't speak English. It speaks repetition. Now let's go deeper. Most men try to act differently without believing differently. They change the behavior, but not the blueprint. They try to force action without reprogramming the operator. That's backwards, because belief drives behavior, and repetition drives belief. If you want to be a disciplined man, you must speak discipline into existence. If you want to be a focused man, you must affirm that focus daily, not when it feels good, not when it's convenient, but every day, especially when it's hard. You become what you repeat, and your current reality is just the residue of your repeated self-concept. Let's bring in Edison. He failed over 1,000 times before inventing the light bulb. But did he see failure? No, he saw feedback. He rewired what most men call defeat into data, and you can do the same. You don't need success on day one. You need belief, and belief is installed through repetition. Say it again. Say it out loud. I don't flinch. I don't fold. I don't fade. I focus. I'm not avoiding pain. I'm mastering it. I speak identity, and I live accordingly. This is your new loop. This is your new language. This is your rebuild. Now here's the mental command framework. Step 1. Clarity. Know exactly who you're becoming. Not vague. Not better. Precision. I am the man who executes under pressure. I am the man who finishes what he starts. I am the man who shows up when it's hardest. Step 2. Construction. Build affirmations that match. Write them. Speak them. Repeat them. Step 3. Conditioning. Speak daily. Repeat endlessly. No excuses. Speak like your future depends on it, because it does. Speak like you're hypnotizing your mind, because you are. Speak like your subconscious is always listening, because it is. Let me tell you something real. Your old beliefs won't die quietly. They'll scream. They'll resist. They'll disguise themselves as logic and realism. But logic never built empires. Logic never moved mountains. Logic never raised a man from mediocrity into mastery. Belief did. So choose belief. Install belief. Repeat belief. Until the man in the mirror matches the man in your mind. This is mental warfare, and the weapon is your word. Your mouth is not just for communication, it's for creation. Your words are blueprints. Your repetition is the builder. Your belief is the architect. So stop asking for confidence. Speak it, repeat it, build it, and soon the world will reflect it back to you. Let's lock in your daily ritual. Wake up early, stand tall, face the mirror, speak the identity aloud with power. Repeat until emotion breaks. Repeat until tears form. Repeat until you believe again. Because this isn't hype. This is neurological rewiring. This is spiritual software. And today you're the programmer. Say it daily. I am not my past. I am my pattern. And my pattern is powerful. I build belief through repetition. And I repeat what I require. You don't need permission. You need a protocol. This is the protocol. Now say it out loud. And move like it's already installed. You cannot serve two identities. One must die. The version of you that hesitates. The version that second guesses. The one who says maybe next time. Has to burn. Because as long as there's a back door, you'll keep running through it. As long as you leave an escape plan, you'll keep escaping from your power. Weakness survives where options exist. Power thrives where commitment begins. This is the law. No fallback. No plan B. No halfway belief. Napoleon Hill said, "Desire backed by faith knows no such word as impossible." But weak men want the reward with no risk. They want change without cost. They want the crown without bleeding for it. That's why most stay average. They're always negotiating with their old self. But hear this. You don't negotiate with weakness. You evict it. You don't debate with fear. You drown it in decision. There is no maybe. When becoming legendary, there is only burn the bridge. Let me take you to Spain. 1519. Hernán Cortés lands with 600 men, ready to conquer the Aztec Empire. Outnumbered, surrounded, outarmed. What does he do? He burns the ships. Why? Because retreat is not an option. There is no going back. There is only forward or death. And that's the mindset that built every revolution, every invention, every great transformation in history. Burn the ships, burn the excuses, burn the old you, and decide. Decision is the death of doubt. Most people don't fail from lack of skill. They drown in indecision. They keep one foot in the fire, one foot in fear, one eye on the vision, the other on the exit. But here's the truth. Until you burn the old bridge, the new one never appears. Until you bury the excuse, The excellence can't rise. No man becomes elite with one toe in. You go all in, or you get nothing. You don't dabble in domination. You decide. You think Edison had a backup plan? You think Ford said, if this doesn't work, I'll go back to farming? No, they made the decision. They cut the cord. They signed the contract with destiny and blood. And you must too. Because until you decide to become, you'll always remain in the becoming. Let the old version grieve. Let it scream. Let it panic. And let it die. You're not here to be liked by your old self. You're here to bury him. Say it out loud. I've already decided. Not I'm thinking about it. Not I hope I stay consistent. Not let's see how it goes. No, I've already decided. Because real power begins the moment you stop asking if you're ready and start moving like it's done. Say it again. I've already decided. Now let's make it physical. Take a sheet of paper. Write down every excuse you've ever used. I'm tired. I'm not ready. I'll start Monday. What if I fail? What will people think? Write them all, and then burn it. Light it on fire. Why? Because transformation begins in the tangible. Your brain needs ritual to mark the shift. This isn't symbolic. It's psychological warfare. That fire is the death of the excuse and the birth of the identity. You don't become a different man through trying. You become different through total commitment. Say it. I don't try. I train. I don't wait. I war. I don't dabble. I decide. And decision is not a feeling. It's a function. Feelings change. Storms come. Doubt knocks. But if the bridge is burned, you don't even flinch. Most men stay weak because they want results without the identity cost. They want growth without grief. They want elevation without ego death. But you can't take the old you into the new level, so kill the indecision. Slay the double-mindedness. Assassinate the what-ifs. This is war. And you are both soldier and weapon. Repetition-based decision loop. Every morning, repeat this to yourself. I've already decided. There is no going back. I don't need motivation. I operate by decision. My identity has no exit strategy. I'm all in. My future demands it. Say it in the car. Say it in the gym. Say it when you're tired. Say it when nobody's watching. Decision is the key. Repetition is the lock. Identity is the door. Walk through it. Let's get even clearer. If you're trying to build a business, burn the bridge of doubt. If you're reclaiming your body, burn the bridge of excuses. If you're leading your family, burn the bridge of someday. If you're leveling your mindset, burn the bridge of hesitation. There is no return, only rise, only resurrection. You kill the old self every morning through choice and raise the new one through discipline. This is self-initiation. No ceremony, no applause, no permission, just you, deciding in silence and moving in dominance. Remember this, the man who decides once doesn't need to debate daily. The man who burns the bridge never asks for direction. He builds the path. So burn the old thoughts, burn the lazy habits, burn the indecision, and when fear tries to whisper, when weakness begs you to reconsider, you look it in the eye and say, I've already decided. This is your identity affirmation loop. I don't wait, I move. I don't flinch, I commit. I don't ask if I'm ready. I decide and become ready. I don't retreat, I rise. I've already decided, and I burn every bridge behind me. Say it out loud, and move like there's no turning back. Look around you. Everything in your atmosphere is either feeding your fire or smothering it. Every voice you tolerate, every room you sit in, every conversation you stay silent in, every energy you permit is building the architecture of your identity. You are not just a product of your habits. You are a reflection of your environment. Napoleon Hill made it clear. Power multiplies when minds align. It's called the mastermind principle. Two or more minds aligned in harmony create a third invisible force, an intangible power that surpasses both. That's not hype. That's not fantasy. That's physics of belief. You think you're stuck because you lack discipline. No, you're isolated. You're inhaling weak air. You're breathing in average. Your fire can't survive where there's no oxygen of ambition. Let me ask you, who are you talking to every day? Are they calling you higher or coddling your excuses? Are they reinforcing your greatness or keeping you numb with comfort? Most men die slowly because they refuse to cut ties with the familiar. But comfort is not your friend. It's your enemy in disguise. If you're serious about transformation, you need to detox your environment with surgical precision. Here's the truth. Your subconscious picks up every signal in your atmosphere. Even when you're not listening, you're still absorbing. That harmless joke, that subtle sarcasm, that casual realism, that daily dose of doubt. It doesn't just pass through, it plants seeds. And those seeds turn into internal ceilings. The people you joke with, scroll with, vent with, they are shaping your belief system without permission. Unless you fireproof your circle, you will always fight fires that never belong to you. Hill aligned with the greatest minds of his time: Andrew Carnegie, Thomas Edison, Henry Ford, Charles Schwab. These men didn't just work together. They fused their belief systems. When one doubted, another reminded. When one slowed down, another accelerated the pace. When one hit a wall, the rest became the hammer. That's the mastermind. It's more than networking. It's a divine alliance of destiny-driven minds. Now ask yourself, would the future version of me, the elite version, the undeniable one, sit in this room, text these people, entertain these conversations? If the answer is no, then you already know what to do. Say this loud. I do not allow weak energy in my atmosphere. You have to become ruthless with your atmosphere. Not rude, not arrogant, but unavailable to small thinking, unavailable to drama, unavailable to doubt, unavailable to passive-aggressive guilt trips. You don't owe anyone access to your airspace if they're polluting your purpose. This is your atmospheric audit. Take inventory. Who drains your discipline? Who minimizes your ambition? Who makes you feel guilty for growing? Who would secretly prefer you stay stuck? Now cut them. You don't have to announce it. You don't have to fight about it. Just remove the access, not out of hate, but out of alignment. The next level version of you is allergic to smallness. Now flip it. Who pushes you? Who sees you clearly? Who doesn't flinch when you speak big? Who challenges you without crushing your spirit? Find them, text them, build with them. If you don't have those people yet, become that person first. Speak big. Move with power. Declare your identity publicly. Like a magnet, the right minds will find you, but not until you broadcast your frequency. Understand this. You become who you converse with daily. Every conversation you entertain is a mirror you're stepping into. Choose your mirrors wisely. This isn't just about people. It's about inputs. What you read, what you watch, what you scroll past, what you listen to. You're either feeding the identity of power or starving it with passive consumption. Napoleon Hill once said, "Deliberately seek the company of people who influence you to think and act for yourself." That means people who don't tell you what to do, but remind you who you really are. They don't flatter, they fortify. They don't coddle your weakness, they confront your greatness. Those are your people. That is your circle. That is your mastermind. So repeat this to yourself daily. I attract powerful minds. I align with those who sharpen my soul. I do not allow weak energy in my atmosphere. My circle is forged in clarity, not convenience. I build with lions, not sheep. Say it when you walk into a room. Say it before you respond to a text. Say it when you're tempted to shrink. Let your frequency filter your environment. Weakness is contagious, but so is greatness. Identity is always transferring. The question is, what direction is it flowing? You're either elevating the room or being evaporated by it. Be the thermostat, not the thermometer. You set the temperature. You create the culture. You call the standard higher. So today, clean the environment. Block the numbing scrolls. Cut the cynical conversations. Exit the rooms where your soul shrinks, and plant yourself in power-charged proximity. Repeat this. I do not allow weak energy in my atmosphere. Let that be the password for access. Let that be the firewall around your growth. Let that be the shield around your becoming. And when they ask why you're distant, why you're different, why you don't talk like them anymore, look them in the eye and say, I changed my atmosphere. Now I change everything else. Identity, affirmation loop. I align with power. I attract greatness. I audit my atmosphere daily. I elevate every room I enter. I do not allow weak energy in my atmosphere. Say it, live it, and let your atmosphere match your future. Most men stay weak because they only do what's required. They ask, what's the minimum I need to do to get by? How little can I give and still look good? What's the least painful route to success? And that question alone is the blueprint of mediocrity. But power doesn't live in the minimum. It's forged in the overflow. If you want to rise, you must become a giver without scoreboard thinking, not a people pleaser, not a martyr, but a high-performance contributor who leads with value without waiting to be told. This is the law of over-delivery. You don't do extra because they asked. You do extra because it's who you are. Napoleon Hill said, "Render more service than that for which you are paid." That's not a quote. That's an identity standard. Weak men need a paycheck before they perform. Strong men perform before the paycheck exists, because their excellence isn't conditional, it's automatic. Let's talk legacy. Do you think Andrew Carnegie built empires by meeting expectations? No. He rewrote the expectations. He redefined the standards. He did more, gave more, built more before he was rewarded. Because legacy builders operate from identity, not outcome. They don't move for applause. They move because it's in their DNA. Here's the truth. You don't rise by demanding more. You rise by becoming more valuable, more essential, more exceptional. And the path to that? Over-delivery. Charles Schwab didn't become a titan by checking boxes. He made his value undeniable. He walked into rooms prepared, spoke like he already had the title, produced like the job was already his, because power respects the man who moves without waiting for permission. Most men sit around waiting to be validated, waiting to be chosen, waiting to be told they're good enough. But the ones who rise, they move as if they've already been approved, because deep down they know, I don't need permission to deliver greatness. You want to separate yourself? Here's the formula. Deliver more than expected. Deliver before it's asked. Deliver when no one's watching. Deliver because you decided it's who you are, not for attention, not for applause, but because you've reprogrammed your identity. Repeat after me. I exceed expectations because it's who I am. Say it again, until it sinks below the surface, until it becomes the automatic script of your subconscious. Because your subconscious doesn't need reasons, it needs repetition. That's how you rewire. Weak men fear being taken advantage of, so they hold back. They calculate. They wait for the world to move first. But strong men move without scoreboard thinking. Because here's the secret. The universe does not reward calculation. It rewards contribution. Think of Thomas Edison. He tried over 1,000 times to invent the light bulb. Every failure was an investment. He didn't need the world to believe in him. He out-contributed the doubt. That's over-delivery. That's identity-driven excellence. That's what makes you unforgettable. Ask yourself this. Do I only give what's required? Do I shrink when I'm not recognized? Do I wait for praise before I perform? Do I hide my excellence until it feels safe? That's not power. That's self-preservation disguised as wisdom, and it will cost you everything. Your new standard is this. I do more than expected. I bring more than is required. I leave every space better than I found it. Why? Because I am not average. Because I am not replaceable. Because I am not afraid to pour when no one claps. Listen, your breakthrough won't come from matching expectations. It will come from violating the average with excellence. You weren't built to be a performer. You were designed to be a producer. Producers create even in silence, even in resistance, even when the room is cold, because they don't serve for applause. They serve because it's who they've become, detached from the outcome, attached to the identity. This is where you flip the switch. You don't give to get. You give because you are overflow. You don't wait to be paid to act valuable. You act valuable because you know you are. Say this until your spirit hears it. I exceed expectations because it's who I am. That's your creed now. That's your rhythm. That's your unseen contract with yourself. You walk into rooms knowing I give more. I serve harder. I build deeper. That's your separation strategy. That's the blueprint that average can't copy, because they only copy effort. They never understand identity. So today, shift it all. Next time you're asked to do something, deliver more. Next time someone expects you to show up, arrive early, prepared, locked in. Next time they assign a task, elevate it into a masterpiece. Why? Because the man who over-delivers can never be denied for long. You weren't made for minimal effort. You were wired for overflow. So install this identity daily. I exceed expectations because it's who I am. I move before I'm told. I produce without scoreboard thinking. I don't wait to be seen. I show up excellent by default. Say it loud. Say it often. Say it until the world can't unsee your value. I don't deliver average. I over-deliver always. I am the overflow. I move before I'm asked. I give beyond what's expected. I exceed expectations because it's who I am. Let this be the rhythm of your becoming. Most men lose, not because they weren't capable, but because they didn't repeat the right thing long enough. They switched directions too soon. They questioned themselves in the fire. They stopped watering the seed because they didn't see fruit fast enough. But here's what you must understand. Repetition is the rhythm of reality. Whatever you repeat becomes you. If you speak doubt, you become hesitation. If you speak fear, you become paralysis. If you speak identity, purpose, power, you become inevitable. Napoleon Hill called it autosuggestion, the daily act of reprogramming your mind with intentional thoughts. Your subconscious doesn't care if it's true. It only cares if it's repeated. So say it every day, without fail. The world trains men to react, but kings are trained to recode. They speak before they see. They declare before they feel. They become before they're crowned, because they understand one thing. Faith is not a feeling. Faith is a formula. Let me remind you what you've declared so far. I do hard things. I chase resistance. I grow through pain. My subconscious obeys what I repeat. I've already decided. I've burned the bridge. I don't allow weak energy in my atmosphere. I exceed expectations because it's who I am. Now speak them again, but this time not as affirmations, as commands. Because from this moment on, you are not in training, you are in transformation. You're not preparing to be powerful. You are powerful. And now you're acting like it. Everything you've spoken, every mental command, every inner standard must now become a ritual. A ritual is different from a routine. Routines are habits. Rituals are sacred. You don't negotiate rituals. You don't skip rituals. You build altars with them. And every time you repeat your identity, you're laying another brick in the palace of your becoming. Edison repeated. Ford repeated. Schwab repeated. Their thoughts, their beliefs, their vision, until doubt broke, until resistance surrendered, until the world matched what they already knew inside. You're not waiting for confirmation. You are the confirmation. You are the approval. You are the evidence that the shift is real. So now we lock it in. Your ritual starts now. Wake up with intention. Declare your identity aloud. Act like it's already yours. Deliver like the deal is done. Every single day. No exceptions. No apologies. No shrinking. There's no magic in the repetition. The magic is in the consistency of belief inside the repetition. If you say it but don't believe it, nothing happens. If you believe it but don't act on it, nothing shifts. But if you say it, believe it, and act like it, the world doesn't stand a chance. From now on, you walk like it's already yours. You speak like it's already done. You move like the crown is already on your head. You don't hope. You don't wait. You decide. You declare. You demonstrate. That's the full lock-in. Say this daily without fail. I act like it's done. I walk like it's already mine. I don't need proof. I am the proof. I don't chase. I attract by identity. I don't repeat fear. I repeat faith. That's your new operating system. Every man has a rhythm. The weak repeat doubt. The strong repeat dominance. You will fall into one of two loops, the default loop of survival or the designed loop of greatness. And here's how to know which you're in. Do your daily thoughts shrink you or summon you? Do your actions reflect your past or prophesy your future? Napoleon Hill wrote, "Think and grow rich." But most forget, it's not work hard and grow rich. It's not get lucky and grow rich. It's think, repeated thought, directed thought, faith-fueled, belief-engineered thought that drives daily identity-powered action. From this day forward, your calendar is a contract. Your mirror is your mission. Your movement is your message. You don't ask for change. You become the change. You don't wait for motivation. You install identity. Let the world wonder what changed. Let them ask where the doubt went. Let them try to figure out what switch you flipped. But you don't owe them answers. You are the answer. You are the one who stayed when others quit. You are the one who repeated identity over insecurity. You are the one who acted like it was done. Here is your final lock-in loop. Say it loud. Say it with power. Say it like it's the only thing that matters. I act like it's done. I walk like it's already mine. I don't wait. I don't shrink. I don't chase. I am the answer. This is your transformation. This is your command. This is your new life. Locked in, lived out, and already yours. Say it out loud and move like it's done.